Hi, I'm Chloe here at magicalwellness.co, and for this Tapping Tuesday I've drawn a card once again from the Cosmic Fairy Tarot, and the card that I pulled is the Ace of Wands, which shows a beautiful candle. Um, and I noticed the way that the candle seems like it's a bit burnt down, and it's one candle and there's quite a lot of darkness around it and sort of whooshing leaves, and you know it doesn't feel like it's casting that much light. There's like this great big shadow underneath it and so on. And so for today at least, the way that this Ace of Wands made me feel and what it made me think about was the fact that I feel like my creative spark is a little bit smothered by all the other stuff going on in my life. And so that's what I thought that we could tap on today, because I think oftentimes in our lives we have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things that we have to do, and it could be, work or family or relationships or whatever it is that takes a lot of our time and energy, so that perhaps we're left feeling like we don't have that much creative energy to put into other things. And so to try and free up some of that creative energy and bring it back into flow again, let's do a little bit of tapping. So it's often helpful to kind of assess where you are at the outset and think, okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is I feel absolutely no creative spark whatsoever, and I feel totally burdened and what have you. And 0 would be, actually, yeah, my creativity is completely free and able to shine. Where would you land on that scale? How do you feel about your creativity and what you can do with it at the moment? So take a moment to take a deep breath perhaps. Tune into yourself and see where you fit on that, and write that down. And then we'll make a start. So just tapping along with me, saying the words, and if anything doesn't feel true to you, you can always say your own words, and then just tap through the points. So here we go. Even though I'm not feeling very creative right now, with all the other things on my plate, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my creative flame feels like it's been tamped down by all the things I have to do, all the responsibilities, all the work, everything, I completely and deeply honour myself. Even though I'm just not feeling that creative at the moment, and I think it's because of all the responsibilities I have and all the other things on my mind, the worries and the stresses, I completely and deeply forgive myself. Tapping through the points, not feeling creative. My creative flame has been totally smothered. All these responsibilities, all the work on my plate, all the duties and things I have to do, all these shoulds and musts, everything else that's going on in my life that doesn't leave much space for creativity right now. And I feel the weight of all those other things and the way it smothers my energy, so that I feel quite exhausted and a bit overburdened. But I'd like to re-find my creative spark, to reignite that creativity and passion, to have a bit more energy for doing things that I feel passionate about. Rekindling my creative spark. Take a deep breath. And tune in again to how you're feeling now about your creativity on that scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is totally smothered and 0 is, yes, my creativity can burn freely. Okay, and so you might see that the number has changed. It might be the same, it might have gone up, and it might have gone down. If it's gone up, that's probably because you're getting in touch with all that emotion around, God, I really want to feel more creative and I'm not. If it's gone down, then that's great. If it stayed the same, then you might want to try changing the wording so that it feels more true to you, or just, keep on tapping on it. Persistence does pay off. Um, and think about, yes, what it is that has blocked your creativity, and perhaps tap specifically on that. So this is where, working with someone on a one-to-one basis can be really good if you do find that your numbers are going up or that they're staying stuck. Or, as I say, doing a bit of self-reflection, maybe pulling a card for yourself of what is it that's blocking my creative energy right now. So anyhow, we'll do another round and see if we can bring a bit more change into that, a bit of more flow and movement, because yes, it's a little bit like you need to sweep out the cobwebs, make a little bit of space. A creative flame needs air to get to it, to feed it. It needs oxygen to be able to burn. And so we need to unblock things so that we can have a bit more free flow with that. So let's give it a go. Even though I'm still feeling like my creative energy is blocked by all these stresses and worries that I have, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my creative flame is being smothered by the 101 other things that I have going on, I deeply and completely honour myself. Even though I would love to feel more creative, and right now that just doesn't feel possible, but I'd really like it to be, I deeply and completely forgive myself. Tapping through the points, all these worries, all this stress, all these responsibilities, all these demands on my time, all these things that I have to do, all these tasks, all this work, and the emotional stuff too that weighs me down. All these things that are smothering my creative spark, all these things that are pulling on my energy, all these worries and all this work that's leeching my energy away. And I'd like to feel that creative spark firing up in me. And I'd like to feel a bit more energy. I'd like to feel that energy sparking and burning in me. That energy to be able to do something creative, something that feels important and that it matters. I want that energy. Take a deep breath. So, the Ace of Wands is just that first spark of energy. And so for today, I don't feel drawn to do some positive tapping to build energy and build energy. It feels like first we need to clear some space so that the oxygen can flow in. So actually saying that, let us do a breathing exercise. What we'll do is a quick round of collarbone breathing, perhaps imagining that flame. So I'll show you this flame again, or you could picture just a regular candle flame. You could Google to find an image or even a little video of a candle burning, and really get that focus in your mind of that candle burning brightly, that it has that air around it, that it gives it the oxygen it needs to burn. And okay, it's a small candle, but it's burning, and it keeps on burning, and it maybe flickers a bit, but it keeps on burning. That's kind of the image that I feel drawn to do the collarbone breathing with today. So a quick reminder, the collarbone breathing, you first have 2 fingers on your collarbone point and tap on the 9 gamut point, then the knuckles, then move the other side, knuckles, then fingers, then swap hands, fingers, knuckles, knuckles, fingers, while we do a breathing exercise. So let's give that a go. Starting finding your collarbone, dropping down to that point, and finding the 9 gamut, which is in between the ring finger and the little finger, drop down, and there's kind of a little dent in there, so tapping on that. And you might want to close your eyes to visualize that candle flame. So now ready with your breathing as you keep visualizing that candle flame. Take a deep breath in. Blow halfway out. The rest of the way out. Halfway in. And all the way out. Going down to your knuckles. Breathing all the way in. Halfway out. The rest of the way out. Halfway in. And all of the way out. Moving your knuckles over to the opposite collarbone side. Taking a deep breath in. Breathing halfway out. The rest of the way out. Halfway in. And all the way out. Coming up to your fingers on that side. Breathing all the way in. Halfway out. All the way out. Halfway in. And all the way out. So swapping your hands around and taking a moment to once again get clarity on that picture of the candle, perhaps flickering, perhaps burning brightly, however your candle is today. And tapping on that point between the ring finger and the little finger, dropping down there. Fingers on the collarbone point. Deep breath in. Halfway out. All the way out. Halfway in. All the way out. Down to the knuckles. Deep breath in. Halfway out. The rest of the way out. Halfway in. And all the way out. Moving your knuckles to the opposite collarbone point. Keep tapping on the 9 gamut point. Breathe all the way in. Visualizing that candle bright in your mind. Halfway out. The rest of the way out. Halfway in. And all the way out. Coming up to your fingers on that point. Take a deep breath in. Breathing halfway out. The rest of the way out. Halfway in. And all the way out. So take a moment to check in with yourself. How are you feeling now that you're nice and aerated, oxygenated? Do you feel a little bit more of a spark of energy in you? So you can always do this video again, and I wish you a creative, bright week. Blessed be.